Road to the Show has been my favorite mode for a long time. Now, don't get me wrong, Diamond Dynasty and Franchise Mode, they're both great, but Road to the Show, it's just special. With MLB The Show 18 dropping really soon, there are a lot of changes hitting Road to the Show. Let's talk about 5 big changes though that are coming to this mode, and if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you guys subscribe and leave a like, and drop me a comment down below at the very end of this video telling me your favorite change this year. Road to the Show players are all familiar with how you can easily max out your character across the board with a little bit of cash, and then keep them pretty much essentially at all 99s across the board for every attribute. While you typically start out in the minor leagues, players have been able to drop a little cash in the game for in-game currency or boost, and then use that to upgrade your player. But what does that really do? Well, it significantly increases your attributes and allows you to crush the competition in AA and AAA to basically speed up your journey to the major leagues. All of that looks to basically change this year, and in my opinion, it's for the better. You'll now have to truly appreciate the grind through the minor leagues and work your way into the pros without using HGH. Or maybe I'm meaning microtransactions, but basically the same thing in the digital world. Ramon Russell from Sony San Diego stated that you can no longer be a 99 in every category, and that's music to my ears. I'm sure some of you might be a little bit salty about that, but honestly, it's for the better. MLB The Show has always been a franchise about realism, and having every player easily able to be Mike Trout, Ken Griffey Jr., or Clayton Kershaw with these crazy ratings when those guys are so far and few between, that just isn't realistic. Next up, well, you're no longer the hotshot in Road to the Show. Last year, you were treated as some sort of top prospect that teams were incredibly excited about, and this year, well, you're treated more as a mid to late round pick that's trying to raise their profile to the scouts. You'll still go to the Bowman Showcase, but after your performance, you're no longer really able to select your team, which again, I think is a good option here. Like previous years though, you're still able to somewhat influence where you go by communicating with your agent and letting them know if you're happy, if you're unhappy with your current organization. It definitely seems like the days of being a first or second rounder are gone, at least for this year, but there doesn't seem to be a confirmation on whether or not you can still be a top pick. Now, in my opinion, this year, one of the biggest changes is progression, and it's completely changed. In previous versions of Road to the Show, you'd play a few games, earn yourself some points, and then you'd put those towards whatever category you basically wanted. If you earned a bunch of points from stealing bases, you could kind of oddly use those points to max out your right-handed hitting power, even if you were only hitting singles in that game. This year though, progression is completely based on your performance in the game. Swing at nearly every pitch, well, you can probably kiss your plate discipline rating goodbye. Your ratings will now increase and or decrease based on how you perform over the course of the games in your season. The points are automatically allocated, so you'll have to actually focus on doing the things well that you actually want to increase. If you want to hit home runs, swing for power using the square button. If you want to hit for contact, use the circle. Use these things and how they actually map to you. Your starting attributes will also differ this year too when you create a player. Player creation now has you select different archetypes that'll feature some caps on your ratings based on which you select. Some of the options they teased were Plain Filthy, Control Freak, or Flamethrower as a pitcher, each with their own strengths and weaknesses as well as the other archetypes. For example though, Plain Filthy for a pitcher allows them to have a total of 5 pitches where others could be limited to 4. Outfielders could be a ball hawk a la Kenny Lofton and have high speed fielding and bunt ratings, or maybe you want to be a defensive cannon like Vladimir Guerrero, new to the game this year. You'll have a cannon for an arm and the ability to push your max power for lefties and righties to 99 overall. Or do you want to be like Aaron Judge and go with the powerhouse archetype where you're starting good at both power and contact? You'll be great there, but your speed will definitely be lacking. The best part though, all these archetypes are available to every single player regardless of position, I think pretty much except for pitchers. There's even an option within Road to the Show to have the opportunity to change your archetype based on the organization's thoughts. It's a cool way to allow you to switch positions and change your archetype to be better suited for a new spot and to make your organization more happy. All in all, there's roughly 15 archetypes you can choose from across the board, but if you're one of those guys that wants to start out with maybe a speed guy, and then later in your career switch it around to be a power guy, if you can keep everything going the way you want it to, you could possibly create some sort of super player. Keep in mind that you'll still be able to also add your Diamond Dynasty equipment to your player to help make up your deficiencies. So if you've created a player and they kind of have your dream stats, but they kind of lack in power, well, you can work your way towards a Diamond level equipment in Diamond Dynasty that has power boosts, and maybe you'll find a nice way to make up in those areas that you're kind of lacking in. A cool addition though is that once you reach 34 years of age, you're given an option to choose to maintain your skills, your strength, or your athleticism. These basically have implications on your career, as you'll be able to hold on to some attributes but start to see Father Time take a toll on you in other areas. A gripe that I had with Road to the Show in the past is that it never really felt like whatever team you played on either benefited you or hurt you depending on what your status was there, but I feel like that changes with this big change this year. Imagine being a young player who wants to improve their power a bit. Where's the best current place in major leagues right now that you could probably do that? the New York Yankees. There's a new option this year called Focus Training that features roughly 25 training sessions throughout each season. While your archetype sets hard caps for you that you can't really exceed, there are soft caps that kind of move you up to your hard cap, which are exceedable for you. How you exceed those, however, is through Focus Training. Focus Training allows you to train with a teammate to increase your ratings, like your power, for example, with a teammate like Aaron Judge. It's a cool little addition, but don't get too excited because it doesn't actually trigger a minigame since it solely takes place in the menus. If you still want the old drills though that have been in the game for the past few years, don't worry, those are totally still available for you. And the last big change I want to talk about for you guys in MLB The Show 18 has to be around character customization. Now, the art team spent a lot of time this year enhancing the quality of the skin tones in the game and how they look in different lighting conditions, and the hair in last year's game could be, well, interesting at times, but they've improved both regular hair and your facial hair. And while it's important for your player to look good and everything, you also want their swing to look good too, and that's why I'm really excited about the batting stance creator. You're able to tweak an insane amount of things about your batting stance, and they've even went above and beyond, in my opinion, and exposed the values to you so you can actually share them with friends to make it easier to recreate them. All in all, those are the 5 big changes to MLB The Show 18's Road to the Show mode that I wanted you guys to know about, but what are you most excited about? Leave me a comment down below with your favorite thing about Road to the Show this year, and make sure to subscribe for tons more MLB 18 content over the next few months. As always, thank you guys for your support. Catch you guys on the next one.